Here are the defensive changes for the Dodgers, with Hernandez going from second to right. Utley stays in the game at second. Zobrist takes a strike. It's Andrew Tolles out in left. And on the mound is Joe Blanton, who has been a godsend in the bullpen for the Dodgers, and Dave Roberts. In a 3-3 game, bottom of the 8th, Zobrist. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Joe Blanton, formerly a starter, really finding a nice spot in the bullpen. Very flexible. They can use him for a variety of situations. Changed his body, changed a few things mechanically. Having a great year for the Dodgers.
Zobrist with a 1-1 count. Tie game. That's into the gap in right center field. And here come the Cubs. Zobrist with a leadoff double.
Well, Peterson does a great job cutting this ball off. Watch at the end as Zobrist knows he's heading for 2 right when he hits it. This ball easily could have got by the slide and keeping this from being a triple. Now we'll find out if Joe Madden elects for Russell, who has struggled, to put a bunt down to get him to third base.
You're doing that for Jason Hayward, who has struggled. He's in the on-deck circle, so this will be interesting, you're right, to see how Joe Madden wants to play it. No sign of a bunt. Ball 1. Turner backs up 2 steps at third. Sometimes they'll give a pitch and then put the bunt on the second delivery. 2-0. It's 3-0. It's interesting because Chapman's in the game. And his spot isn't that far away. 4 hitters after Russell. Here's a 3-0. Strike 1.
Russell likes to attack the fastball and see if Joe Blanton on 3-1 feeds off the aggressiveness of Russell and throws something other than a fastball.
He tricked him, fooled him, full count.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. Know the hitters that you don't have to throw a strike to. If they're aggressive by nature, they get more aggressive in trying to be the hero. So now 3-2, Russell's thinking, well, shoot. I wonder if he's going to come right back with the same pitch.
Russell swung at ball 4. Now the count is full. Left side. Turner, good play. 1 out. And Russell does not advance the runner. His struggles really continuing.
And by not being patient, that caused the at-bat to change. A 3-2 slider again as Turner makes a nice in-between hop, and he not only doesn't get the runner over, he could have had first and second, nobody out. Those are the things in the playoffs. Everyone wants to be the guy, but it's the guy that keeps the moment slow as possible to a regular season environment that'll have more success.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Well, now it's Hayward. And John, we just saw Dave Roberts go out and talk, and there's no doubt that a part of the conversation is where Chapman is. You've got Hayward, then the red-hot Baez, then you've got the lighter hitting catcher Ross Chapman. And because he's lurking a few hitters away, Hector Rondon, the former closer, is getting ready for the Cubs in their bullpen.
Now this surprises me, and the reason I say it surprises me is attacking Hayward then you can walk Baez. But by putting Hayward on, you now have to pitch to Baez. So what Dave Roberts is saying, he believes his slider is going to be better suited against an aggressive Baez than attacking Hayward in this situation.
Two on, one out. A double, a ground out, the intentional walk. Well, you're right. That's a gamble. There's one hitter right now who the Cubs would want to have up there. He's walking to the plate. And Javier Baez.
Absolutely. And the first pitch will tell me a lot as a pitcher. This is the cat and mouse game that I'm sure they've already talked about. You almost have to start him off with a slider. You can't take and assume anything. You've got to try to think that he's going to expand the zone. He's hot, but each pitcher has made a mistake to him, and he's made them pay.
.421 average this postseason. And if Baez delivers here, Roberts will have to answer as to why he walked Jason Hayward to get to Javier Baez. Zobrist, the lead runner at second. Popped up right side. Will it stay in play? It will. A big second out as Hernandez hauls it in. And it's 2 on, 2 out.
See, Blanton is so deceiving with that short slider that he throws. As a hitter, you think, oh, maybe it's a fastball. But again, this is a perfectly executed pitch on the outer part of the plate. Baez, wanting to get it done, swings at a ball outside the zone and pops it up.
Well, now it's Coghlan with Aroldis Chapman spot next.
And so the gamble for Dave Roberts paid off, saying, I trust my guy, right-hander, against Baez, even though he's hot. I'm going to throw him nothing but sliders and prey off of his aggressiveness.
Well, there's already been a visit to the mound, so Roberts can't come out and talk, or he'd have to take Blanton out. So they're going to run it themselves. This is interesting because if you pitch around Coghlan, there's a base open, albeit third base. You're going to get Chapman out of the game, and they are going to walk him. And Dave Roberts is going to force the hand here of Joe Madden to either send Chapman to the plate, unlikely, or lift him for the pinch hitter and turn the game over to Rondon in the bullpen.
It's not like Dave Roberts hasn't been forced with a million decisions in his last game. I'm sure this is what he's saying is, I'll take my chances against anybody else but Chapman.
Montero has come into the on-deck circle. One of the 3 catchers on the roster for Joe Madden. Coghlan with great numbers against Blanton, but this is as much about getting Chapman out of the game. And Chapman is lifted for the pinch hitter right here. Miguel Montero, who hit .216 during the regular season. This could also be to burn a hitter. And now Joe Madden is forcing the hand the other way. He's got the left-hander, the young lefty, getting ready in Dayton. And Joe Madden is sitting on a really good option on his bench in Wilson Contreras if he wants to go that way.
And I think the numbers will show for Montero, even though it's the matchup you want, righty against lefty. He has not fared well this year against right-handers other than a fastball, the four-seamer. That's what he's looking to hit. Everything else well below average. Changeup, sliders, curveballs, all below 190.
Game on the line, bases loaded, 2 out. Strike one, almost got a piece of Dexter Fowler in the on-deck circle. Rondon will pitch in the 9th for the bottom part of the lineup coming up for the Dodgers. Miguel Montero could be a hero tonight in game 1. strike 2.
And that was one Montero would like to have back. That slider kind of spun in the zone right there, and he just pulls off the ball. Watch where this pitch is. That is not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be tight in. Gets on the side of the ball, see the spin. That circle's not tight enough on a slider spin.
Here comes the 0-2. High drive into right, back at the wall, it is gone! Grand slam, Montero, Game 1 hero. Charges one into right. Back into that well. This one is gone. Back to back. 8-3.
Well, as good as Blanton has been with the slider down, it's the lefty sliders that haven't been very good. Montero, we talked about the one he missed earlier. This is going to be a carbon copy. Right over the middle of the plate, he sees 2 in a row. Bat back and all.
That was an 0-2 to Miguel Montero. And now Fowler.
And this one's more of the breaking ball variety, but this one hung too. Fowler knows it. As soon as he hits it, so does Blanton.
Here's Bryant, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Of all the moves that Dave Robert, this is the nature of the game we're in. They're going to ask him why not bring in the left-hander. But Montero was struggling, and I think he felt better against Montero than he would, as you mentioned, Contreras or Almora Jr. So he played the numbers game, and his pitcher just hung a 2-strike slider.
Yeah, you can talk about that all day long in any sport. Eventually the guy's got to make a pitch.
Right.
Or you say the guy did the job at the plate. That is the 3rd pinch hit grand slam in postseason history. And it's Miguel Montero. Followed up by Fowler, and it's 8-3, biggest lead of the night. Rondon will be the pitcher. The Dodgers worked so hard to tie it in the top of the 8th. Blanton almost got through the bottom half.
I mean, there was some concern and talk about whether he'd make this roster, but obviously they're pretty glad he did.
Well, they have 3 catchers. It's a luxury, but it's for this very reason. You have more options. Got a good kid with Wilson Contreras, but he stepped aside. Here's one to left center. This ball is off the ivy, and Bryant has a double. And that's it for Blanton. party's on at Wrigley Field on the north side.
And when freaks get dressed, go out at night. They like to wear leather jackets, change the spice the cause.
How strong is Allegra D?
My congestion's out of my way strong.
Allegra D, a fast, non-drowsy antihistamine plus a powerful decongestant that starts relieving your toughest symptoms in just 1 hour.
It's breathing free for 24 hours strong.
Allegra D.
The hair on the face of a man is said to be as strong as copper wire. So what's a man to do? How about a razor with blades stronger than steel? The new Gillette Mach 3 is engineered to take on hair this tough. From metal stubble to manly stubble. The new Mach 3 with the world's #1 selling blades. Now starting under $10. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Your car insurance policy is 22 pages long. Did you read every word? No. Only lawyers do that. So when you got rear-ended and you needed a tow, your insurance company told you to look at page 5 on your policy. Did it say, great news, you're covered on page 5? No. It said, blah, 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 blah.
The Liberty Mutual app with Coverage Compass makes it easy to know what you're covered for and what you're not. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Stay with us on FS1 postseason post-game coverage. And there's our set right across the street from Murphy's Bleachers here at Wrigley Field. And this place, Wrigley Field, that was open for business in 1914, was bouncing. Literally, this press box, and the ball that Montero hit as Grant Dayton takes over in what's now a 5-run game, 8-3, a 5-run eighth, all the runs scoring with 2 out. Runner at second is Bryant. Rizzo 0 for 4 tonight. The 0-1. Strike 2.
Well, in the world of sliders, it can be awesome or it can be terrible. It's the recipe for a long ball. When you spin it and it doesn't break and stays there, you see the exit velocity on each one of them. Not too shabby.
And over inside Murphy's. Across from the set. Here's the 0-2 to Rizzo. Instead, time called, and it was granted. Blanton, who has been such a key member of Dave Roberts' bullpen. He's versatile. You know, the postseason is like the great truth serum. It's how good is your roster really, and who do you really trust? And for Dave Roberts, Joe Blanton is on that list of who he trusts. But tonight, Montero got him.
Well, he was in 4 of the 5 games in the previous series. The bullpen has worked, as we've documented, just about as many innings as you possibly can. You wonder if it catches up.
Rizzo fouls it. Turner, inning over. And this inning just reminds you, you never know when you show up to the park who the hero's going to be. Montero, a pinch hit grand slam.
I accept I'm not the deep-sea fisherman I was. I accept I'm not out on the ocean wrestling marlin. I even accept I have a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. But I won't go after anything with less than my best. So if I can go for something better than warfarin, I'll do that too. Eliquis. Eliquis reduced the risk of stroke better than warfarin. Plus, it had significantly less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis had both. That's what I wanted to know.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
I may not be going for the big one, but I'm still going for my best. And for Eliquis.
Reduced risk of stroke, plus less major bleeding. Ask your doctor if switching to Eliquis is right for you.
You say crazy, I say crafted. You say savage, I say practiced. Crazy, crafted, savage, practiced. Let's run that whole thing back. You say unbelievable, I say achievable. You say incredible, I say inevitable. Unbelievable, achievable, incredible, inevitable. Let's run that whole thing back. Carbs to compete, electrolytes to replenish.
Enjoy your phone.
You too. All right, be cool. You got the amazing new iPhone 7 on the house by switching to AT&T. What? And you got unlimited data because you have DirecTV? Okay, just a few more steps.
Door!
It's cool.
Get the iPhone 7 on us and unlimited data when you switch to AT&T and have DirecTV.
Let's go. Can't sleep when I'm home alone. Nighttime, my lights on. Ooh, got me scared. Woo, had to leave my bed. In my closet, down the hall. I see shadows.
Booyah. Emphasis on the boo.
Ghostbusters. Get the extended edition on Blu-ray and digital today.
T-Mobile One lets MLB fans dig into the game with unlimited LTE data on their smartphones. Show us how you're baseball's #1 fan by using hashtag #UnlimitedBaseball for a free MLB Shop gift code and the chance to win tickets to every 2017 World Series game. Hector Rondon, the former closer with these Cubs, fires a 97-mile-an-hour fastball for strike one. Last year, Rondon 30 of 34 in save chances, an ERA just over 1.5, but he has given way to Aroldis Chapman, who right now stands to be the winner after finishing off the top of the 8th.
Well, and like I said, as much as you want to save the game for your starter and save the game with the lead, Chapman gave him a chance to get to this point.
Wilson Contreras takes over behind the plate. Aggressive charge by Bryant, 1 out. Kike Hernandez retired. The MLB postseason continues tomorrow. Game 2 of this NLCS, Dodgers and Cubs. That matchup of Hendricks and Kershaw. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on FS1 Monday. The ALCS north of the border for Game 3 between the Indians and the Blue Jays on TBS. There's the matchup tomorrow. That's the good news for the Dodgers. The question you have to at least wonder about be how much can Kershaw give? How crisp will his stuff be after all that work in the division series? Missing 2+ months with a herniated disc in his back. It's being managed very well. Strike 2 from Rondon on Jock Peterson. It'll be an 8th inning to remember in this NLCS Game 1. 7 total runs, 7 hits, 2 home runs. The biggest, a pinch hit grand slam by Miguel Montero in a 45-minute 8th inning. Peterson to the right side. Rondon has to get over. Safe. And Rondon froze before he took off for the bag. And on safely is Peterson for the Dodgers here in the 9th.
Well, he froze because Rizzo expanded his zone coverage, if you will. He got Baez right there. And once Rizzo goes after that ball, no chance. Even if Rondon gets there on a straight line, a very difficult play. Left-hander backhand toss. Baez has that in his back pocket. Rizzo, if he could have it over again, would have gone back to the bag.
Now 1 on 1 out for a guy who for a moment, Andrew Tolles, really made an impact off the bench. Delivered a pinch hit single the opposite way against Montgomery, showed his speed, scored a run in that 2-run 8th inning when the Dodgers tied it on a 2-out 2-run single by Adrian Gonzalez.
This guy can handle a fastball. He really struggles against breaking balls down in that area.
Started the season at Class Single A. His dad, a former linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. And we'll see plenty of Andrew Tolles before the end of this LCS. He's been a nice addition to this Dodger roster. Rondon. Strike one.
I'm surprised that I'm seeing Peterson stay at first base. There's nobody holding him on. They walk to second.
You take it to take that force out away at second base and a ball up the middle. Especially with the speed of Tolles at the plate. It's a 5-run game. That's a strike. Strike two.
This is just paint. Now he can go breaking ball down if he wants. Tolles usually swings over the top.
Into right center field. That ball's going to get down and go toward the wall and all the way to it. Taking around third is Peterson. Holding at second with his second hit in as many at-bats is young Andrew Tolles with an RBI double.
I'm shaking my head because he can handle a fastball. Really, the report there wasn't followed. And I know he's trying to get a fastball away, but this is a guy that has shown me enough watching video that he can handle this pitch right here. He misses location. It was just being stubborn right there with a fastball after painting away. He had him set up for an off speed.
So Tolles 2 for 2. Out comes Chris Bosio, pitching coach for the Cubs. And he's going to try to help guide Rondon through the final 2 outs. Coming up is Utley with Justin Turner on deck. And with a wind blowing out, it wouldn't take much for the Dodgers to jump right back in this game as they trail by 4.
You know, this team shares and embodies what their manager is. He's the most upbeat, personable guy, has relationship or at least talks with every one of his players, and you can see them willingness to fight in the previous series, and I think I wouldn't expect anything different from this lineup.
They keep coming after you. They were held in check by Max Scherzer in that Game 5 start that Scherzer made in DC. Peterson the game-tying home run, and they went back to work. Now Utley takes a strike. A lefty and a righty getting ready for the Cubs out in their bullpen. Zastresny is the left-hander, Justin Grimm the right-hander. That's out of play, strike 2.
He nailed that on the first go. There's no chance I would have nailed that name on the first go.
Pretty proud, actually.
Z-Man is what I refer to him as.
Oh, and 2 on Utley. Rondon. .97 for ball 1. Travel day on Monday in this LCS. The Dodgers will have their home crowd behind them on Tuesday for Game 3. Where will this series stand? 2-2.
can say is maybe the first couple breaking balls that he threw, he wasn't confident or wasn't feeling like they'd been the right pitch. He stayed firm, and he has been firm the last 6 pitches.
Dodgers need 2 more base runners to have a chance. Utley trying to be one of those 2. Here comes a 2-2. That's caught right at Rizzo. This game is over. Cubs win it 8-4. Tolles is doubled off, and why wouldn't a strong defensive play end this night in favor of the Cubs?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Dodgers squared up a lot of balls tonight. You got to be encouraged, even though it doesn't show in the scoreboard. And for the Cubs, their defense was right on point. And the crowd, you could tell they were ready to explode one way or the other. The Grand Slam did it.
Well, now the Dodgers get to turn to Clayton Kershaw tomorrow night, Sunday night. And up goes the W flag. As now the Cubs are 3 wins away from their first World Series since 1945. Let's go down to the field and check in with Tom Bertucci.
Dexter Fowler, your team has a 2-run lead in the 8th inning. You lose it with your closer on the mound. Take me inside the Cubs dugout after that half inning.
You know what? Everybody was still juiced. We knew we were at home, and we know, if we can score 3, we'll be good. But we know we can do that at any time. So I don't think anybody was too down.
Miguel Montero hits the big grand slam. The fans were still on the feet by the time you took the next pitch out of the park. What were you looking for?
Just something to hit, something in the zone, and it was still loud, so kind of slowed everything down.
Dexter, the defense here has been kind of the secret sauce of the Cubs' success. You had 2 terrific plays today, one to your left, one to your right. Made 2 catches, lost 1 belt. You be the judge. How good were they?
I was working my belt off. I have to say that. Just was trying to go get the ball. That's my job out there. I'm the last go out there. So just got to run it and try to get it.
Now you have to wear the same belt tomorrow for game 2.
For sure. They fixed it, so I'm good now.
Thanks, Dexter.
Thank you.
Now to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Tom. Miguel, the grand slam off Blanton. You missed an 0-1 slider, went to 0-2. At that point, what were you thinking?
Honestly, as soon as I missed the 0-1 slider, I'm like, man, that was a good pitch to hit. After that, I just chucked up a little bit, and I was trying to get something out over the plate and drive it. I got no other ways to do it. Sacrifice not going to do it. I just got to get a hit somewhere or the other. And he threw a good slider into my barrel. It was a good slider for me. It was not good. But it worked out pretty good, I guess.
Now, the way that inning developed, when did you sense it was coming to you? When did you sense the Dodgers were getting Chapman out of the game?
Honestly, I never even thought I was going to hit at that point. To be honest, I thought Madden took me out there just to bring the lefty and get Contreras to pinch hit for me, and they didn't bring the lefty for Contreras, and I guess that was a little mistake there, I guess, huh?
Maybe. Now, Miguel, it hasn't been the easiest year for you. I know you wanted to play more than you did. How rewarding is this moment?
It is. This is what I'm playing for right now. I try to take full advantage of whatever at-bat I get. And I talked early in the year with Joe. I say, I never got used to pinch hit, but I'm trying to get better because even though that I'm not playing, I'm working hard to get a better pinch hitter. And if you can give me an opportunity to pinch hit, not every day, but at least give me a chance because I think I can help the team from the bench in the playoff. And sure enough, today I helped the team.
Worked out okay.
Yeah.
Miguel, congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, thank you. Thanks to Tom. Joe Maddon pulled the right string. And as you heard Miguel Montero say, thinking along with us, maybe he was sent to the plate to get the left-hander in the game, to get Wilson Contreras to the plate. But that move wasn't made. And Joe Blanton, who's been so good, stays in the ballgame and gives up the pinch hit grand slam. The winner, Aroldis Chapman. The loser, Joe Blanton. Can't wait for tomorrow night. We don't say goodbye. We say hello to Kevin Burkhardt and the guys. Go.
Joe, thanks. Wow. What do you say, Chicago? That was some finish. I mean, every one of these games in the National League has been unreal so far, but that was nuts. And so the scene out here in Wrigleyville, just beyond the center field gates where we are on our Fox set, and we have a lot to talk about this one. A wild game one. A crazy eighth inning that seemed to go on forever, but the Cubs, again, showing the resolve, come back and get the win. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And let's start with Miguel Montero. You know, Frank, I really liked what he said to Ken Rosenthal in that interview there. You know, I said, hey, Joe, give me a chance. Let me come off the bench and help you. Wasn't even sure he was going to hit there. Oh, but did he ever hit?
He's always been a great power hitter. It's been tough for him this year, especially losing his position at catcher. But he did not pout all season long. He just wanted a chance to help the team in any kind of way he can. Wonderful interview. It paid off big tonight. A grand slam to win this ball game. What a night from Miguel Montero in one swing.
Don't hang it 0-2, man.
Oh, yeah.
He hung it up there, and he went downtown.
And you know, what a weapon for Joe to have Miguel Montero and Contreras. I think he had the chessboard covered. And I thought Roberts made the right move, and it worked out well for the Cubs.
Yeah, there's a lot of managerial stuff going on there. And so people are saying, okay, well, why in the world would you let Joe Blanton pitch to Miguel Montero? Well, the flip side is if you go and you get the lefty out of the pen, then he brings in Wilson Contreras, the righty, to hit. So did you like how they played it there?
I think David Roberts played that inning as well as you can play it. Okay. And Joe Blanton's a guy that he's trusted. And I can't second guess him. I thought he made the right move.
Do you think there's a clubhouse left since they took Lester out?
No.
How many second-guessing opportunities we have in this game?
We had a lot just watching the game. I mean, there were a lot of moments in this game. If it didn't work, I mean, the Cubs, you got to give them credit, right? So Chapman's blown a couple here in the playoffs, hasn't stopped them. He blew the save tonight. Didn't even have to worry about getting a save because they put up so many runs in the eighth inning.
It was a tough catch, but how about if Rizzo catches that pop fly?
Right.
The game's still 3-1.
Right.
All that action we'd have missed in the eighth inning.
There's definitely a lot happening with this one, but the bottom line is we're seeing some things here. You know, I think if you look at it overall, the Cubs got to feel good. Right here they are. They're up 1-0, but they've been far from perfect, Frank. But they have shown some resolve. I mean, you know, they came back twice in San Francisco late. Obviously, this one, after Adrian Gonzalez tied it up, this could have been bad with Lester coming out of the game early.
Well, that's what's been great watching this team all year. They're so deep on the bench. They can find a way to beat you late. Most teams can't do this. I'm talking with their bullpen, with their hitters. Joe Madden has a well-rounded roster, and you just never know where the hero's going to come from. We saw tonight with Montero. Yes, there could have been a lot of second-guessing, but who cares? They found a way to win this game tonight. Big win for the Cubs.
Well, what Joe does, he plays everybody. Everybody thinks they're going to contribute to the success of the team, and that's why those guys come off the bench. That's why they go in there and steal bases, play defense, long man, short man, whatever you need, that's what he gives them.
You know, Pete, it is a bad loss for the Dodgers.
Yes.
It would have been a heartbreaker for the Cubs because they had their #1 guy.
Yes.
They're in their home stadium. And the other thing is, early in the game, they had 3 men on base at second base with no outs, and they couldn't get that guy to third. If they want to win the World Championship, Kevin, they have to get better at the little things.
Yeah,
none of those guys scored, by the way.
No, they didn't. Yeah. But you know what? Things like that certainly were lacking. And again, there are things in the Cubs offense that you haven't seen in spurts. But one thing, Pete, I think we all agreed, they looked sharp in defensively, base running, they look much sharper than the Dodgers.
Well, if the Dodgers would have come out tired tonight, I think we'd all understood because they didn't get here till 6 or 7, or what, they got here 11 o'clock after being out till 3 o'clock last night celebrating.
Yeah.
But, you know, the guy steals home, it would have been in the pickle. The guy went to second on a little bloop, head first into second. I mean, the Cubs took advantage of everything that happened tonight with the Dodgers.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel a strong series coming on. These Dodgers will not quit. They were very game all night long. Dexter Fowler made some catches tonight that really could have blew open some other innings. This is going to be a great series. This Dodgers, there's no quit in this Dodger team. You're going to see a chess match this whole entire It's 4 Game 5 series, yes.
Because listen, we've seen it.
What's in that coffee, Pete?
Exactly. That's some strong coffee you got going on there, Frankie.
You know, Frank, I agree with you, Frank. I mean, Dodgers got to be feeling really good about themselves. They battled John Lester. They came back. Unbelievable at bats by Adrian Gonzalez. Right. And the other thing is they have Clayton Kershaw coming tomorrow. If they came to Chicago, Pete, to get a win, and tomorrow they get a chance to do that.
All right, we got a lot to do. You got something to say, Peter?
Well, we're just putting pressure back on Kershaw.
That's what
He's
we like
kind of
to
used
do.
to it, isn't he?
He is getting used to it. Well, he's on it again tomorrow. Apparently, there's some fire trucks. There's ambulances.
They're coming to take Frank away.
Stuff happens
Pete's rides here. Pete's rides here.
This place is crazy. You gotta love it.
All right.
Gave out.
Frank, your escort's here. We're going to take you back home.
You might need it.
That's part of you driving that truck.
You know, you don't. This is quite the setup we have here, right in the middle of Wrigleyville. This is a little different than what we've had in the past, but it's cool. All right, so there's a lot to do. We're with you for an hour here talking about this game. We'll have interviews coming up, and let's start here. Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, after this one.
Can you walk us through the thought process in the 8th, especially walking Coghlan and then also staying with Blanton against the lefty?
Oh yeah, no, it was. It's just one of those things where, obviously, in that situation, you got to walk Hayward with the open base, and he gets Baez to fly out, and then right there, obviously I'm looking at the card and I see Chapman still in the game, and where we're at on our side coming up, hitters coming up. Didn't love the matchups, where it's hard to love the matchups against Chapman anyway, but we had some left-handers coming up. So for me, Coghlan is their first left-handed bat off the bench. I know Joe's going to throw strikes, and so to then walk Coghlan, to then bring up Montero. If I go to a left-hander, they bring in Contreras. So right there, there's really no, matchup advantage. It's more of, I trust Joe. I've trusted him all year long. He's been great for us. And he got ahead 0-2 and left a pitch up. So, again, it's at that point in time, they got to bring in Rondon. And so I felt good for us to win the game if we could get out of that inning. And it just didn't work out. But it was our guys fought. It was a well-played game.
Next question for Dave, over here to the far right.
Adrian Gonzalez, big hit off of Chapman. What's going through your mind in that inning, and just seeing Adrian get that big hit in a spot where you needed it?
Adrian's been, throughout his career, he's gotten so many big hits. And, when it gets hot and stressful, he just finds a way to just calm down and take a good swing. And obviously, you got a guy throwing 100 miles an hour left on left. There's no panic. And he just took a nice swing and big hit. And right there, yeah, I thought we were going to win the game.
Another one for Dave, straight back over here to the right, straight back, yeah.
Dave, what you see with Maeda today?
You know what, I thought Maeda was good. There was a couple balls that found the outfield grass, but I thought he competed well. I thought he gave us everything he had and gave us a chance to win. And right there, third time through, I felt good going to Baez. But again, Kent was a victim of a little bit of bad luck. And that's the beautiful thing about this game. You can square balls up and get nothing to show for it, which I felt we did tonight a lot. And, you can hit some flares that find outfield grass. So Kent to pitch well.
And over here.
All right, Dave Roberts with some good answers. We'll get into that. Welcome to our set here just outside Wrigley Field. What a venue. What a game. Game 1 in the NLCS, and it goes to Chicago. The Cubs for the comeback, and these fans are raucous, as you would expect. There's a lot of places to go and really celebrate a win around here in Wrigley. I don't know if you've ever been here, guys, so this place will be rocking all night long. Welcome to our set. We're with you for the next hour, midnight on the East Coast. We've got Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. If you missed the game, if you're out to dinner, family event, let's catch up on the highlights of this one. This was another great National League game, and here's what it looked like for you, right? Cubs with their second straight NLCS trip. People are taking naps. Yasiel Puig doesn't look nervous. Let's get to the action. Top two. Chicago's up 1-0. Lester in a jam. It's the pitcher. Kenta Maeda is going to ground one through for a base hit. Adrian Gonzalez trying to come home and score, but Zobrist throws him out. And so Gonzalez, who actually inched back towards second, gets thrown out. Bottom two. Baez with a pop-up, and that's going to get in there. So Hayward when a leadoff triple comes in to score. Baez alert, stretching that to a double. Cubs 2-0. And later in the inning, watch this. They catch him, the squeeze inward, but Baez keeps on running, guys.
Baez been magical in the playoffs. This kid has stepped up his game. He's been very big for the Cubs offense and defense so far.
Unbelievable. First play to steal home in an LCS since 2010. Cubs up 3-0, fourth inning. It's Carlos Ruiz off of Lester, but they've got Dexter Fowler. Fowler was brilliant in the outfield tonight, broke his belt. That was such a good catch, and Lester with a little pat on the backside.
Like he said, he hustled his belt off.
He did. Dodgers down 3-1. Here's Puig at the plate. And a great diving stop. Rizzo to less defense all night long.
Defense wins championships. The Cubs played an extraordinary defense tonight to help this victory.
Lester surprisingly taken out in the sixth. We'll get to that later. So top 8, they bring on Aroldis Chapman. Dodgers down 3-1, bases loaded. Adrian Gonzalez, Alex, you called this too.
I just really like that that matchup. I mean, he never overswings. He understands the strike zone, and that was beautiful hitting.
And so this wild 8th inning, where the Dodgers come back with a 2-out clutch hit from Gonzalez. And then the bottom of the 8th, bases loaded, 2 down. It's an 0-2 count to Miguel Montero.
Goodbye. Just let me do anything to help this team win. Big pitch hit grand slam by Miguel Montero.
And the grand slam from Miguel Montero. And a 4-8 Cubs win. Fowler would homer after that. What a wild game. Every one of these games in the National League has been this way. And so the fans wave the W. All out of their apartments and bars in Wrigleyville, just enjoying the scene here, and why wouldn't they? And there's so much to go to here, so let's reset. Let's go back to Montero. Again, you heard Dave Roberts say it in the sound, the fact that, hey, if I went to the lefty and got Bland out of there, brought in Dayton, well, you know, then they're going to bring up Wilson Contreras. Frank, so did you like, it didn't work out, but did you like Roberts just sticking with Bland and his guy?
No doubt. I mean, you can always second guess when the world is watching and there's a lot of tight plays, a lot of pressure. But Dave Roberts has been managing from his gut a lot. Very good baseball instincts. Joe Madden the same way. Miguel Montero is not a rookie. He's had a lot of play over the years. He's hit a lot of big home runs. Big advantage for the Cubs bringing this guy off the bench. You saw him swinging out of his shoes. I've seen it a lot here in Chicago. He never gets cheated. And this was a shot here that Joe Blanton, who's an ex-teammate of mine, who's never going to step down from any challenge. He was game, but Montero got the best of him in that at-bat.
Well, he said Joe Blanton's been good for him all year. That's why he stayed with him. Yes, he has.
So, you know, I thought Dave Roberts had a great game. He managed a great game. For me, you saw Bruce Bochy tested Contreras. Contreras burned him. And October baseball, Kevin, is all about trust. And he trusts Joe Blanton.
He does. That's Murphy's going crazy. Right across from us, we were in the parking lot of Murphy's with our sets of the fans going nuts. So the reaction to that one, you know, I think that managerial-wise, it's already been a fascinating series, right? I mean, so many moves, so much thinking, and yeah, there's a lot to critique here, which you can always do when something goes wrong. But I'm curious to hear Joe Madden, Pete, because it worked out. Cubs resolved, they come back and win. But we were all pretty surprised about Lester, who's a gamer who threw a complete game against the Dodgers earlier this year, who only had 77 pitches coming out after 6.
Well, I'm interested to hear what Joe says. What was the reasoning behind that? Because I know Lester didn't want to come out of the game.
Oh, for sure.
He was shaking his head. He went down the end of the dugout to go into the dugout. He didn't even walk by Joe Madden. So I don't know if that means anything, but he was really mad right there.
You know, Pete, I competed against John Lester for a long time, and he's one of the all-time great competitors. But I got to tell you, I cannot think of a situation with a 3-1 lead and Lester in control like he was, that I take John Lester out of the game. I'm looking for 7, ideally 8, and then hand the ball to Chapman for a clean save.
Well, you got to understand, Joe Madden trusts his bullpen. They built a lockdown bullpen. In that situation, they were up 3-1. I'm guessing he wanted to push that run in at all costs. He got burned in that situation, but John Lester will be back. He'll be well rested. We'll see him soon. But the bottom line is the Cubs found a way to win tonight after a mistake like that.
How about this scene behind us, by the way? You see this craziness unfolding? Sheffield and Waveland on the corner.
How the hell are we going to get out of here?
Well, that's a worry for a whole night. We're just going to stay on the air the whole time.
You know, tonight's another example of what I've been saying since I've been coming to Fox. A manager is only as good as his players.
Yes.
If you put a player up and he fails, it was the wrong player. If he does well, you put the right player up. We saw that several times tonight.
You know, for Lester, even though he came out early, we were wondering about that. The Dodgers did hit some line drives off him. They did. To think, Alex, you have to go back to when he came here, right? And so the Red Sox kind of give him a little bit of a low ball offer. The Cubs happy to bring him over. I think they're pretty happy about that. And then also Madden starting him in game ones and going with that route too.
You know, when John Lester signed with the Chicago Cubs, Pete, it told the baseball world, we're here and we're for real and we're here to win. And John Lester was brought here for days like today. He doesn't get the win, but he pitched well enough.
Well, I have to agree with you. Everything you just said is absolutely true. And they're looking for not only this year, but for the future with John Lester. And, of course, they went out and they got Hayward. They give him all kind of money. And Zorbas. So they really built the team.
Pete, you're starting to agree with me. I'm starting to get worried.
You're my man, buddy.
By the way, the show's early. A lot more show to go, Frank. A lot more show to go, that's for sure.
Yeah. Wake up, Frank.
They're disagreeing. We'll stop here shortly, I'm sure.
You know, Frank, and one more thing on John Lester. I mean, what this guy, his character, what he brings into that clubhouse. I saw him yesterday in the video room studying for today's game. He's the hardest working guy. And if you're Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer, what a great role model for young players.
You know, I think the Dodgers, even though this game was about the 8th inning tonight for the most part, Dodgers have left some things out there, right? I mean, they were a little sloppy. They made some mistakes. And we saw Adrian Gonzalez in the highlight get thrown out at the plate. But there was, Alex, there was a reason for this, right?
Yeah, I mean, we call that a negative secondary lead. And I think he was playing, you know, trying to mess with John Lester a little bit. But what happened was he got caught off, and you'll see here in the highlight, where he was caught off balance, and as the ball was hit, he was actually going back to second base. Therefore, he was out by a long shot.
Yeah, Lester,
you know, if a coach would see that, he would hold him there. Evidently, the coach didn't see him break back to second, the step that he took, because there's no way he could score after he took that
Pete,
step
the problem is when you're a third base coach from that vantage point, you cannot anticipate a negative secondary.
Oh, no, I know. I said if the coach would have saw that, he would stop him.
So, yeah, the Dodgers had some instances here where they, you know, they could have taken advantage. How about this kid Baez, Frank? I mean, I know you've talked about him a lot this year on whip around, and yeah, he was a little aggressive in that at bat in the 8th inning, didn't come through there, but another 2 hits. He learned, right? Remember last week he Cadillac'd a little bit and got thrown out at second. He learned, he hustled, turned that bloop into a double tonight, stole home. What impressed you the most?
For me, just watching this guy all year, this guy is a young special superstar in the making. His offense, his defense, tremendous power, tremendous bat speed. He's got great instincts for the game. I'm sure all the teams in baseball was trying to trade for this guy when the Cubs was trying to get that lockdown closer and the rest of the pieces they wanted to try to get to the World Series this year. But I'm watching him grow up. I mean, just taking the ball to right field at times, standing on breaking balls. You wouldn't see that last year with this guy. But hustling like this on a magical bloop hit, I mean, it adds energy to the ball club. This guy's fearless. He's been a key so far in the playoffs in his team. His magic continues.
You know, Zorbas is a real good player, but I think he can now concentrate on becoming a good outfielder. I don't know if he's going to play second base anymore.
I don't think so anymore, right?
You know, Pete, Kevin, if you talk to the folks with the Cubs inside that clubhouse, and I had a chance to come out early and spend some time with them, they marvel, and not only this kid's talent, but they feel if his focus and his work ethic matches his Cooperstown ability, he has an opportunity to be a perennial all-star for the Chicago Cubs.
Wow, that's high prize, man.
Hey, can we go ahead, Frank?
He's been working with Manny Ramirez the last couple of years on his approach at the plate, and it's really helped him because at first when he came up, all he wanted to do was go deep because he's got so much bat speed. He feels like he can hit any pitch out of the ballpark. He's learned to hit at the major league level, and I'm going to tell you right now, this kid's going to be special. But this is just instinct right here. Who would just not even think about going to third base right here? He knows he's quick enough. He just saw the ball throw. He just took off. This kid can run.
When's the last time you saw a squeeze play, the ball taken by the catcher and not get in a pickle?
Exactly.
That was bad defense on the Dodgers.
Bad defense,
right
but
there.
Excellent baseball.
It was, but it was bad defense.
Very underrated use of getting a pickle too. I haven't heard that term in a while. That's really good stuff. You know, I think one thing about these Cubs, and if you haven't watched them all year, you maybe don't realize how good they are defensively. I want to say they're superior to everybody else in Major League Baseball, right, Frank? I mean, they are an unbelievable defensive team, and tonight it was on full display.
You know, I reside on the south side of town, but you happen to know there's a team that's very special. I've been watching these guys. I've been to Wrigley a couple times this year to watch them up close. They do it all, Kevin. Defense, offense. They hustle out double plays. They do a lot of little things that Joe Madden has these guys working on. They wear the crazy shirts. Don't suck in October. Don't suck in September. I mean, they're a loose ball club, but they're together as a team, man. They're going to be tough to beat just because of everything they got extra on this team, and that depth on the bench is going to be key, especially in the playoff run.
Well, he's wound up, isn't he? Huh?
It's Chi-Town, baby.
And when he came in,
You said with the owner of the team, didn't you?
no, not at all. You just came in and called for Pete. I'm wound up, baby. We're out of the studio. This is my atmosphere.
You know what the real deal is? Frank has been out changing diapers now that he's home. So he's had 17 cups of coffee because he's about to fall asleep. That's what you are. You are really
You got to
ready
do
go.
what you got to do. You got to nap when you can, Petey, when you got a newborn.
Hey, Frank,
you know
tell
what I'm saying?
this is your town, but I had an opportunity to speak to Dexter Fowler this morning.
Yes.
And he had a fantastic game on both sides of the ball. But what he said to me that I thought was interesting is how much the players, Pete, respect and marvel Joe Madden. He says this guy runs an incredible clubhouse, and these guys will go through a wall, and tonight was a perfect example.
Boy, you're a name dropper, man. That's the fact. Man. Would you sweep her last night? What the hell time did you get down here?
Player interviews, Pete, all day.
You were winning last night. Why didn't you put him to bed?
No, we actually have sleeping bags out over here.
God.
We came down here right away. All right, so we've been
Anything for Fox, right? Not a baby.
That's what happened when you got your old G5, Pete. You get her early.
Hey, don't make fun of it. That's how we're getting out of here.
You guys want to ride home, don't you?
Hey, we're talking about Joe Madden and his decisions. Well, Joe Madden at the podium. Let's listen to him explain tonight.
Joe, you always tell us you like the barroom banter and all that kind of stuff. A lot of moments on both sides tonight. First, could you talk about the pulling Lester and then the Chapman move again?
Well, I just thought tonight John really wasn't on top of his game. There was a chance to put add-on runs in that particular moment. You had Gonzalez, and then Ruiz had 2 good at-bats against him. Hernandez has already had good at-bats against him. So it was also an opportunity to get Ruiz out of the game, which eventually turned into Grandal. So you got to look at it. You got to look at the whole big picture. So all those things were part of it. If John was on top of his game, I may not have done it, but I didn't think he had his best stuff tonight. So that was part of that decision. The other one was, yeah, I mean, we had no choice. I mean, I did not want to do that again. He strikes out the first 2 guys, and then Adrian has a great at-bat. So what are you going to do about it? You just got to move on. But give Chappie credit for keeping it at 2. Now, there's the argumentative part right there where we did not lose the lead. So if you don't lose the lead right there and you have this chance to come back, which we did, give Chappie a lot of credit right there. Because in that moment when you've given up 2 runs to tie the ball game, tendency is maybe the mental letdown. But he did not permit that to happen. So there's all these little subplots going on constantly within that game. And obviously, eventually, Miggy grabs one, and that was pretty special.
You know, I'll tell you what. One thing I really like about these managers, besides that they're super smart, they really take time to explain. They don't bristle at why'd you do this. They take good. At least you know what they're thinking there. You thought that, hey, line drives against Lester, wanted to also get Ruiz out of the game. It's interesting. I'm just curious, Chapman-wise, Alex. So you played with him. Obviously, no closer really likes to pitch 8th inning for the most part, unless you're Andrew Miller, who pitches everywhere. But you know, how about him in that mindset? And as Joe said, he did keep it tied. It could have been obviously worse.
Yeah, I played with Chapman this year for about 4.5 months, and what I learned this year, Kevin, was he's a routine guy. For me, he's a guy that likes clean innings and ideally the 9th inning and the 9th inning only. The one thing that I also learned, Pete, was that if he does give up a lead, he can come back the next day and shut it down and do it in a big way.
Yeah, he forgets about it. I really like what Joe did, how he just explained everything.
I did too.
Because when he explained it, it made a lot of sense, everything he did.
It does.
We're sitting here wondering why he did this, and Lester, why did he take him out, and different things like that. And he just had an explanation, and it made sense.
I mean, it worked out. Helps when it works, too.
Well, you know, I told you guys earlier in the week, Joe Madden is well prepared. But when you have a roster this deep with so many young stars, older stars, and a great mix, sometimes you can just get out of the way and let them play, and they can find you a way to win.
They love you, Alex. You're big in Chicago, just like Frank. Hey, Rod Chase.
Hey.
Where's the towel?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Red flag, red flag.
Now it's going to go crazy. You know, if I didn't think it was crazy enough, I'm sitting here with Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, and Alex Rodriguez. Now I got you waving the W flag in Chicago.
Will you tell those people I picked the Cubs in a sweep?
Well, they were here before. They saw it. You know, one thing, too, we talked about this in the pregame, guys, right? Talking about these moves that Joe Madden. How about a move that he didn't make? We discussed it. Keeping Baez, keeping that order intact, leaving him 7. Hayward had a big triple, and he scored. Baez obviously was fine there. So maybe the move, too, that he didn't make, Frank, was a good one for Madden.
I tell you what, and you think about this, and you watch this team, and their glue guy is off to a horrible start in the playoffs, and that's Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah.
They're winning without him right now, but don't worry. He will show up eventually because he's such a great player, offensively, defensively. But it just shows you how good this team is, so deep. With Anthony Rizzo batting third, not doing anything so far, they're still finding a way to win baseball games. Watch out for the Cubs the rest of this playoff. But I'm expecting just a great series with the Dodgers because the Dodgers are going to fight. They're not going to run and hide.
I didn't see anything from Anthony tonight that's going to lead me to believe he's going to get hot.
Not at all.
Nothing. I didn't see anything.
You know, Kevin, going back to Baez.
What'd you see? What'd you see?
Nothing. Not tonight.
And Anthony
Anyways,
Rizzo?
going back to Baez.
Nothing at all.
What about last night?
He's my man. He'll be back, Pete. Don't worry about him.
One more thing on Baez, you have to be very careful, Kevin, is he's had his fingerprints on every win of the Cubs. Less is more. I would not change the lineup and send a signal that he has to do more because he doesn't. I mean,
Pete, you're gonna be like Hulk Hogan, just work the crowd.
Just work it, Pete.
Go back and forth. This is some show. What is this is game 1. All of our notes are gone.
We're dead. We're dead.
Welcome to the Windy City, baby. Yes.
We're in some trouble now.
Go home. Can we go home now?
There's a T-Rex in the crowd. The Cubs won game 1. People are partying in the streets. And there was another game, the ALCS. We'll get you highlights of the Blue Jays and Indians. We'll take a break. Frank needs more coffee. There's an A-Rod chant. Pete's going to work the crowd. Indians trying to go up 2-0 on the Jays. Get Frank some coffee. More from the Cubs. Interviews coming in their crazy Game 1 win over the Dodgers. Miguel Montero with the grand slam, the hero in the 8th inning, and these fans are going crazy in Wrigleyville. Cubs win Game 1. We're back.
Wow, look at all these people out here, man.
Try to change me in any way. Don't tell me what to do. Just let me be myself. That's all I ask.
The new 2017 Corolla with Toyota Safety Sense Standard. Toyota, let's go places.
Beard hair can be as strong as copper wire. The Gillette Mach 3 is precision engineered to cut hair this tough. No wonder it has the world's #1 selling blades. Mach 3, now as low as $10. Gillette.
You talk about the Cowboys and the Patriots like they're like your kids.
That's the hottest seat in sports media. This is undisputed.
If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and you're talking to your doctor about your medication, this is Humira. This is Humira helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira helping me go further. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms. Humira has been clinically studied for over 18 years.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB. Hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ready for a new chapter? Talk to your rheumatologist. This is Humira at work.
What? Is he gone? Finally! I thought thought he'd never leave.
Why are you texting my man at 2 a.m.?
If you want someone to leave you alone, you pretend like you're sleeping. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Taking selfies in the kitchen does not make you a model. Okay.
Go, let's go. Hey, we got Caitlin on the hill. Stay back. We got a good arm behind the plate. All right, but we're going to run on him. Let's go, baby. Get it up. Win on 3, huh? Hey, win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
Scene at Murphy's, just across the block from us. As the Miguel Montero grand slam left the yard, ring the bell. This is a scene right now. It's even crazier. The streets are packed.
What would happen if they won the World Series?
It's game 1, NLCS.
Wow.
It's been 100 years, Pete. I mean, hey, they want this to happen this year. They're very optimistic it's going to happen this year. They're a fine ball club. There's still a lot of work to be done.
Welcome back, by the way. Our set out here, there's been some scene. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. A lot more to do. We'll be joined by Ken Rosenthal coming up. How about Adrian Gonzalez? At the time, he had an enormous hit off of Chapman to tie the game. Just came up a little short, did the Dodgers. So here's Agon at his locker after the game.
You know what? At the moment, there, you know, we have full knowledge that Dave's doing the best move for our team, and you know, we knew we were in a good position. He had him out too, and you know, baseball, you know, sometimes, you know, it plays to the opposition, and you know, Miguel put a great swing and gave him the lead, but you know, I think we all know that Dave was doing the best thing for the team.
Well, he's talking about Dave Roberts and some of the managing moves, and I think, Alex, you hit it too. I think Dave Roberts played it right. It just didn't work out. How about, guys, you know, we talked about this after the last round with the Cubs getting by the Giants, not having to worry about the stress of a Game 5. You notice anything, Pete? You feel like they were relaxed? You feel like they were loose tonight the way they played?
No. The only thing I noticed about the Cubs, I think they think they're going to win every game they play.
That's interesting.
That's just the way they approach it. They're going to do it defensively, offensively, pitching-wise. They got more confidence in the team I've seen in a while. Now, I guess that's why they won 103 games.
Well, that's been 2 years of winning. That's why they have so much confidence. That's why this fan base here feel they can get it done. They've seen this team win so many close games, big games, whatever you want to call it all year long. They found a way to win consistently now.
Yeah, they come from behind 8 times in the 9th inning this year.
Been incredible.
Pretty nice.
I mean, in the postseason alone. Yeah. This postseason alone.
You know, Kev, spending some time in the clubhouse yesterday, there is a quiet confidence about this team. They're very confident. They're calm. They're humble. They have great leader, both with Joe Madden and David Ross. The way he polices that clubhouse, they just have it going. They feel like a world championship team.
I'm glad you got to go in there. I'm not allowed in the clubhouse.
Is that why we're across the street?
Well, Pete, at least we're in the same city.
I'm allowed in the bar, but I'm not allowed in the clubhouse.
Why do you think we're next to a bar?
I told him we're across the street in the parking lot because of Pete.
You know, when we get to the World Series, we're gonna be at Frank's house. That's the whole deal.
Oh my gosh!
With this team, with the way this thing is working out, you know, I tell you what, you know, I think for the Dodgers, there's one thing maybe of concern too. As great as, you know, Dave Roberts managed the last game of the bullpen, you have to consider this. Now, they've shown resolve, but their bullpen has given up at least a run 7th inning or later in 5 straight games. So that has been a developing issue, Frank, for this Dodgers pen.
It's a major hole. We knew it was a weakness. That's why we kept saying, how are the Dodgers here still playing competitive late ball games with the best teams in baseball? This is a magical team. They continue to find a way to win or continue to try to win. That's why this team is so dangerous. That's why I said earlier, this is going to be one heck of a series. The Dodgers are not going to run away and just hide. They're going to fight day in and day out with this.
We saw a failed bullpen in San Francisco, too. That's why the Cubs are here.
We did.
So, you know, there's a lot of bullpens failing right now.
If you're a Dodger fan, what is the most encouraging thing about tonight, even in a tough, heart-wrenching loss?
Kenley Jansen didn't have to pitch. So if they can get a lead tomorrow, maybe he can give them 6 out. Because he's a very dominant closer. They got to find a way with a lead to get the ball to Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, something else to think about. I mean, the fact they scored against Chapman's a big lift. Mentally, they know they can come back. That's huge. The other thing, Frank, I think you have to think about, Clayton Kershaw, we talked about the importance of him pitching well in order for them to advance. But let's not forget, he was involved in all 3 victories against the Washington Nationals. The question that I have, and I'm interested to see how he comes out, is how is he going to be early in the game? Because he's still pretty you know, he's been a workhorse.
He has. He's been great, and they're going to need him tomorrow. There's no doubt. And speaking of Kershaw, we'll have more on that. Ken Rosenthal, who of course did the game from the field, is going to be with us. He's going to have some anecdotes from the clubhouse post-game. We'll talk about Kershaw tomorrow, who was outstanding in the NLCS, and the Dodgers are going to need him tomorrow in order to avoid going down 2-0 in this NLCS. We'll have highlights of the Blue Jays and Indians game number 2. We've got Wrigleyville going nuts, and you got us. Stay tuned. Post-game show on FS1. Cubs win game 1 over the Dodgers.
We're back. Petey.
Ron Santo. Billy Williams.
There are some voices that can't be ignored.
You come at the king, you best not listen.
It's time to grow up.
Culture of winning matters.
Conflict draws people in. Everybody's a critic. Everybody gets an opinion. We're watching a revolution. Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1.
Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do, you know that there are.
For unbeatable side-by-side performance, Yamaha offers 2 choices. The groundbreaking YXZ 1000R with 5-speed manual transmission, and the new YXZ 1000R Sport Shift with automatic clutch and paddle shifters, perfect for conquering tight technical terrain. For superior side-by-side performance, the choice is easy. Yamaha. Now get up to $2,000 customer cash, plus as low as 0% financing for 36 months.
The Cowboys have no defense. They're nothing. They've been nothing for the last 4 years.
With Custom Ink, you can design custom t-shirts and other great products for every occasion. From the first day of school to game day and everything in between. With the best collection of styles and graphics to choose from, it's easy to go online and create custom t-shirts and more for all of life's events. Get free shipping and on-time delivery, guaranteed. Go to customink.com to get started today.
You have a vision. It's why you can see what others can't. You know what you want, and we can help you get it. Want a card that pops? Try a brilliant finish with a signature paper. It's all absolutely guaranteed. Because you have a vision, and we have your card. Get 250 specialty cards with a brilliant finish and a signature paper. Now for just $29.99. Enter TV250 at vistaprint.com.
On September 1st, 1971, the Pittsburgh Pirates made history by fielding the first all-minority starting lineup in MLB history. Forever Brothers is the often-forgotten story of a trailblazing team that became world champs. Here's a preview of what's coming up after us.
In the spring of 1971, with struggles of all kinds playing out at home and abroad, the Pittsburgh Pirates began another Major League Baseball season.
The one thing that stands out about 1971, we had some guys that could really play.
We went to spring training in 1971 knowing we were emerging as a very good ball club. Well, the season started and we realized we were pretty good.
Our team clicked. We challenged one another around the batting cage. We was there to win.
Forever Brothers, a 71 Pirates story, a terrific film. We're sticking around for right after the postgame show. I heard it's fantastic, so stay for that. Meanwhile, here we are in Wrigleyville. Cubs take game 1 of the NLCS, a wild one. 8-4 over the Dodgers. Dramatic 8th inning, and Miguel Montero, the hero, with the grand slam. Now, this is game 2. It'll be tomorrow night from Wrigley. Kershaw and Hendricks will be the starters in that one. And with that, it is time to put a bow on it. That's right. We've got Ken Rosenthal, who's come up here from the field. We've got our 2 bow-tied gentlemen. You guys are looking just fabulous. You've got a lot to compete with here, Ken. I mean, that's Pete.
I can't compete with that.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Right here. What do you think?
You look great, Kenny. You look great, man. Why is my head so much bigger than yours?
That's a great question.
Get the side shot, will you please, over there?
Side profiles only. So, Kevin, let's talk about tonight first. Obviously, you're in there. You're reporting from the game. And let's start Dave Roberts. We talked about it out here. The guys all felt that, hey, really liked how Dave Roberts handled it. What did you think? What was the reaction inside that Dodgers room, though?
Well, first of all, we're not even having this conversation if Joe Blanton throws a better slider.
Right.
That's the starting point here and needs to be said. However, 1 out, runner on second, Jason Hayward up. Jason Hayward had the 3rd lowest OPS in the major leagues this season. Why not go after him and just let the inning proceed from there? That's the one flaw to me in the whole equation. Now, I know it's right-left. I get it. And Joe Madden came right out and said he would have done exactly what Dave Roberts did. I don't know if that's one manager defending another, but the way the inning played out, they were too worried about Chapman.
Yeah.
You had Rondon in back of him anyway. If you got Chapman out of the game, although Rondon did not pitch particularly well, you had another closer coming in. So I just wonder, and I'm not going to be too harsh here because outcomes dictate all of our analysis,
right.
But I just wonder if they got a little too cute.
I guess you could also flip it that if they pitched to Hayward and get him out, they could have walked Baez too. There's a flip way to do it too. But it's a fair point. We asked that question too. How about Matt? Joe came on, we had the sound, and he explained it. I mean, certainly understood his thinking when he talked about taking Lester out, what he was seeing. But he got Chapman in for a potential, didn't work out because of the way the game played out, but a potential 6-out save again, which I'm sure he doesn't really want to do when it's all said and done. How about how Joe handled this game tonight?
Well, Chapman has 1 6-out save in his career. It was in 2013. So obviously it's not something he's terribly familiar with.
Right.
At the same time, in both situations, Game 3 of the Division Series and tonight, the plan was for some other Cubs reliever to get someone out before Chapman came in the game.
That would help.
That's where the problem is starting. And by the time Madden went to him, it's bases loaded, done out, you've got a problem. Obviously, he strikes out the first 2. He's throwing 100. He looks great. Adrian Gonzalez, great at bat. I don't know what you say at that point. Again, it's outcome-based.
It is.
But to me, I understood what Madden did. That, to me, is on the Cubs relievers for not giving a better bridge to Chapman.
Well, it's probably easier for Joe to bring Chapman in for a 6-out save because he's got backup, a guy who used to be a save guy.
Right.
So it's a little easier for him to go there than the other night, like in Washington, when you brought Kenley in for a 9-out save. That's impossible.
You know, for me, it's all about comfort, Kenny. And, you know, playing against John Lester for a long time and being Chapman's teammates, you want comfort. I'm much more comfortable letting John Lester go 7 or 8 rather than coming in Chapman when he's only done it once in his career to try to do a 6-out save. But, you know, they win the game anyways.
And I want to say that both managers left themselves open for second guessing tonight, but it always is the one that loses that we all criticize the most. Joe Madden has a deeper ball club, and he's always felt, give my team a chance with 3 outs, we got a chance to win. They did it once again tonight. We saw it in San Francisco. They did it once again tonight. The Cubs is a special ball club.
Frank, no question. And having covered so many of these games over the years, the one thing I've learned is things can change in so many different ways. It's difficult to be too hard on Roberts or Madden for that matter. At the same time, the Hayward move to me was the one that just, it got me a little bit.
Yes. You know, Kenny, I agree with you 100%. Anytime you get an opportunity with a soft landing spot and you can pitch to Hayward, you pitch to him every time. I do have a question for the set, though. Pete, can somebody tell me why Addison Russell is not bunting in the 8th inning with a man on second?
No idea. I have no idea why.
Does anybody have an explanation?
No. I think that's a great
question. That did not get asked, as far as I know, in the postgame, and it's certainly a valid question.
Yeah.
Well, you know, of all the Cub players this year, and I'm not picking on a guy by any stretch of the imagination, Hayward had the worst year of any Cub player. That's why Kenny's right when he says you got to go at Hayward right there.
Right.
I agree with you 100% on that.
All right, so we're going to switch gears here because joining us from the field, David Ross is going to throw a headset on, and the Cubs catcher is ready with us. David, how are you? We've got Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, Kenny Rosenthal's out here, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And thank you for taking the time, man. You guys like drama, huh? I'll tell you. I mean, you've had some unbelievable wins already in this postseason. Just take me through the emotions, though. So after Adrian Gonzalez gets a hit to tie it, how did you guys feel then going to the bottom of the 8th, and what were you thinking there?
Well, first of all, I feel out of place talking to all these stud baseball players. What's going on, fellas? How we doing? Except you, Kenny. Except you, Kenny. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, that's accurate.
You know what? There's some serious emotions in this game, but when I got that hit, I was just trying to keep the game tied. You know, they had first and third there. Chappie with 2 outs, just trying to keep it tied. We've done some special things all year long. As long as we could keep it tied without giving them the lead was kind of my main concern. And we got that out, and I knew coming in, you know, we had all hands on deck. Joe does a good job of moving guys around, and you saw the craziness that play out, and big time players step up in big moments, and Miggy did that.
Hey, David, Alex Rodriguez here. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Alex.
You know, watching you and John play pitch and catch for 6 innings today, I know there's hundreds of hours in between starts, lunches, and dinners. Can you talk a little bit about the comfort level that you guys have with each other?
Yeah, we've been doing it for a long time. I think it's our 4th year together now. We've had some success and been in some big moments, and I think that's where you build the relationship, to being in those environments that we were in, been in a couple times, and we build a rapport, and he knows how to get a lot out of me, and I try to push his buttons to get the most out of him. You know how that relationship works sometimes. So he's a phenomenal pitcher. I've been very blessed to catch him, and very fortunate. He makes me look good as a catcher, and gives me a start every 5th day, so that's always nice.
Hey, Dave, Pete Rose over here, and I just want to ask you one question.
The Hit King, what's
up, buddy?
Yes, sir.
How many years do you think it'd take for your man's in the big leagues?
I don't know if I can handle the stress. I don't know if I can handle. Well, thank you, Pete. That's a huge compliment from you. But I don't know if I can handle the stress, man. These things. My heart's about to go. All the games we've been in here lately, and San Fran, that last one, and this one, that back and forth, and moving guys around and pitching changes, and you know, I don't know if I can handle the stress. I'm gonna go home for a little bit and enjoy my family. I hadn't been able to do that enough.
I'll help you with all that stuff. Just make me your hitting coach, will you?
That sounds good to me.
Just assign
baby.
the cage
now
to
we're
me.
talking.
Give
now we
me
got a
the
resume.
cage.
We'll get Alex on there too. There we go.
Long ball, short ball.
There we go. There we go.
David, Frank Thomas here, War Eagle, buddy.
War Eagle, baby. How we doing?
Pretty good. I just want to say good luck to your upcoming retirement. I know you want to go out as a winner, and that's got to be on your mind right now. But I want to go back to John Lester. How did you console him in the 7th and 8th inning? Because I know he's a gamer. I've faced him a lot myself. He did not want to leave that ball game. Were you able to talk to him?
I did. He went in. He took it in. He came and gave me a fist pound and took it in. You know, he's a competitor. He never wants to come out of the game. He would fight tooth and nail to stay in. But Joe's been making moves all year, and they've been working out. And you got to trust your manager. That's all you can do. And Joe's been doing stuff that's outside of the box sometimes for 2 years now, in my opinion, and they work out 99% of the time. So as players, we play, the manager manages, and we got a lot of faith in Joe, and all you do as a player is go out there and do your job. But yeah, Johnny Lester never wants to come. We don't have many guys that want to come out of the game.
David, it's Ken. I want to ask you about Montero. I said this to him on the field. It has not been an easy year for him. He probably wanted to play more than he has played. How rewarding do you think this was for him tonight?
Man, I can't say enough about Miggy. I just told the guys inside, I went through a transition period in my career when you go from a starter to a backup, and your game your starting job gets taken away from you, and I didn't even handle it as good as Miggy. This guy is huge character, continued to work with Wilson Contreras coming up, and me catching John, kind of lost some of his playing time. He continued to work hard, support his teammates. He hit a big walk-off home run for us to seal seal the division for us going into the playoffs, and you saw another big home run tonight. So can't say enough positive things about Miguel Montero. This guy is a great teammate and obviously a great player.
Hey, David, thanks so much for joining us live. We really appreciate it. Great stuff. Congrats on the win. Go enjoy it, okay?
Always a pleasure, guys. Y'all take care. Nice talking to you guys.
David. All right, David Ross, very generous to join us and talk a little bit after the game. I'd like to thank Ken Rosenthal. Some insight from the clubhouse tonight. By the way, Ken, a multiple Emmy Award winner. And, you know, Pete, this is a photo you would like. From this year's Sports Emmys, we have Ken, Tom, Kenny, and Shaq.
He could palm my head. Check it out, Pete. He could palm my head.
Where's California Chrome at? You should
that
be
would
riding,
be a horse, ladies and gentlemen.
California Chrome in the Breeders' Cup.
Sure, you haven't heard
we
that
get through
from
with
Pete
this
before.
World Series and
Pete,
playoffs.
You know this. I'm too big to be a jock.
Kenny, great Great job. We appreciate it. We'll see you. Ken Rosenthal back with us tomorrow. We have more to do. ALCS. We've been promising you the highlights. I really mean it. We're going to show you the highlights when we come back and show you how outstanding Andrew Miller has been to give the Indians a 2-0 series lead over the Blue Jays. I mean, I don't know how the Yankees are going to feel about this, but Alex Rodriguez is a Cubs fan. Wow. This whole time.
I got an email from Brian Cashman in my inbox.
Special advisor and Cubs fan, Alex Rodriguez. Oh, Alex Rodriguez. What a scene in Wrigley. We're back.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's T-shirt cannon time.
I'm launching the Fox Sports Go app.
Watch all your favorite sports live on the go. The NFL, college football, local NBA and NHL games, even garbage time with Katie Nolan. All included with your TV subscription. Download the Fox Sports Go app today.
That went well.
I overpack, but my guy knows what to bring. Like Viagra single packs for ED.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
First, there's shaving, blades, sharp and precise. Then Gillette shielding, comfy lubrication before and after. And also, cooling. Ooh, got goosebumps. Gillette Pro Shield Chill with lubrication before and after the blades. Shields and cools while you shave. Pro Shield Chill from Gillette, the best a man can get. Pro Shield, available with or without chill.
Culture of winning matters.
We're watching a revolution.
Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1.
Is it possible to engineer a feeling? To create a design that moves you before you even get in, and craft an interior that transports you before you go anywhere? It is when it's designed for you, the driver. The new Mazda 6.
Whopper. Fries. Soda. $10. Someone's gonna get fired.
Fired and Flame Grilled. Get 2 100% beef Whopper sandwiches, 2 fries, and 2 drinks now for just $10. It's the 2 for $10 Whopper meal, only at Burger King.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do, drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The call with Joe Buck fired up on that one, and it should be a dramatic moment with the grand slam, and the A's fans are still fired up here behind center field and Wrigley, and that's where we are, just across from Murphy's. And this place is, I mean, what an atmosphere inside, outside. It's been that type of night. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you along for this one. Still more to do. Like, guys, the ALCS played game 2 of their series way earlier, and if you didn't see it, here's what happened. Okay, India's looking to go up 2-0. Cleveland, the city of champs.
Yeah.
Carlos Santana against J-Hap.
Goodbye.
1-0 Indians after that blazer. And so let's go to the third. 1-0 Cleveland. Man on second. Josh Donaldson, he's ripping the ball this postseason. He goes the other way, and we're tied.
That's going to tie the game.
So, 1-1 game. Bottom of the third. Kipnis at the plate. Davis using that speed. He's going to steal second. Oh, boy, can he ever. Guess what? Wild pitch. Davis go on down to third.
Can't teach speed, and it's big in playoff series.
Think the Indians would take advantage of it? They would. Here's Lindor with a base hit that scores Davis, and it's 2-1 Cleveland.
Great young player right there.
Well, he has had
great young player.
Some postseason, too, hasn't he? What an unbelievable player. No, nothing like this guy, though. Andrew Miller has been out of this world in the postseason so far. He's striking out everybody. Pilar, good luck. Eighth inning, he's still in there. He's just going to strike out any single human who comes up to the plate. Indians win. They take a 2-0 series lead. LeBron is fired up. I don't know what you can say about Andrew Miller. You said this the first game of the playoffs because you obviously know him, you're teammates with him. You couldn't say enough good things about him. So let's say this. 2 games, 11 outs. He struck out 10 of them.
Amazing.
Kevin, he's Michael Jordan-esque right now, what he's doing in the postseason. Wow. But to me, playing with him, he's like the queen on the chessboard. Tito Francona can do so much with him, and for me, that's why I thought he was going to be the difference maker on this series. But if you think about it, he's the best reliever in the game. He's a strikeout machine. He holds runners on well. He's a team quality type qualities. And he went to school to get a business degree in North Carolina. He's extremely intelligent, too.
You confuse him with Frank. He's a checkers guy.
You got that right.
I tell you, that's one of the worst things the Yankees done here. They got rid of him.
Well, we got some great prospect backs. I mean,
prospects. Well,
wait, I thought you were a Cubs fan. What
I was talking also about not letting this guy play in September. That's the other mistake they made this past year. But this kid is one of the top relievers, I think you said, in all of baseball.
Not the top. He's the best reliever in the game.
That's high praise, brother.
And what's really impressive about this is the Blue Jays have faced this guy a lot in the Eastern Division. It's one of these things. It's like, wow. He must have electric stuff because these guys, it's not the first time you see him. He's striking them out 1, 2, 3 like it's no big deal. That's what's impressive to me about Andrew Miller at this point.
You know, Frank, I'm going to take you to our team flight, and we will be going cross-country, Kevin, from New York to Los Angeles, and it'll be 3 in the morning, and he's watching his iPad studying hitters. That's when I knew this guy was off the charts, and what a lucky guy I was to be his teammate.
Wow.
Is that when you chartered a 737? I didn't know you flew with the team. Man, disappoint me, eh?
Oh, man.
See, you learn something new every day.
Wow. Toronto better get some home cooking, buddy.
I'll tell you about this last thing on Miller. Your relievers have won LCS and World Series MVP. No middle reliever, in quotations, has ever won it. He's going to win it. If they win this series, he's going to win it. He deserves to win it.
He did it to Boston. Now he's doing it to the Toronto Blue Jays. This guy's a special reliever. They better just hope they can get some runs early enough in the next ball game in Toronto. If not, they could get swept just like the Boston Red Sox got swept by the Cleveland Indians.
All right, we've got to take a break because Pete has got to go fill out the hitting coach contract for David Ross. So we're going to do that, and we'll do a lot more from Chicago. What a night.
Sell
what a
him,
game
buddy.
one.
Sell him. Sell him.
Oh.
Sell those units, buddy.
Go, Bill Murray's playing.
Hey, Billy. Where's Eddie at? Where's Eddie Vedder?
He's pointing at the fans. They're all here in Wrigley. Cubs take game 1 over the Dodgers. More to do on FS1. We're back.
This week, it's the NFL on Fox. Carson Wentz and the Eagles battle Kirk Cousins and the Redskins. Then, in America's Game of the Week, Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys collide with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. It all begins at noon Eastern, followed by a full day of action on Fox.
Have you ever noticed how some people in life seem to get away with everything? We live our lives from an elevated perspective.
You're late.
Time's a relative concept.
Well, I see you have mastered the laws of gravity.
We are the masters of time and space.
And we all drive Jaguars.
The all-new Jaguar F-Pace. For great offers, visit your local Jaguar retailer today.
Remain in your home to hear an exciting bundle offer. All contracts are binding. You must comply.
We got a runner.
Hey! Follow me!
Better TV starts now.
PlayStation.
Great game last night.
Yeah, fantastic finish.
That kid stuck was electric.
Reminds me of a young Pedro.
It's gonna go down to the wire, right to the very end. Woo! Better buckle your seatbelt. Nice job, Earthy.
Yo, HR, my AB, man.
Oh, man.
Lighter's getting rocked.
Harold still got it.
It's showtime. Let's go.
And welcome everyone to MLB Tonight.
You talk about the Cowboys and the Patriots like they're like your kids.
That's the hottest seat in sports media. This is undisputed.
Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way, like their photo claims tool. It helps settle your claim quickly, which saves time, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call. Esurance does insurance a smarter way, which saves money, like bundling home and auto coverage, which reduces red tape, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's home and auto insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
That's a mighty fine goat you got there. You want to swap for a new one?
What do you got?
We got goats. White goats, brown goats, black and white goats. How about this one?
No tears, Diane. This is for the best.
And that's how a trade works, except here we use games.
All right.
All right.
When you want to trade games, head to GameStop. Right now, trade your games for extra cash. But hurry, this offer lasts 2 weeks only. GameStop. Not available in California.
Postseason baseball continues tomorrow. Game 2 of the NLCS here at Wrigley. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. An hour pregame with you on FS1. And then on Monday, the ALCS heads north of the border for Game 3 between the Indians and the Blue Jays. You can see that on TBS. Listen, fans at Wrigleyville going crazy. Pete, this is what we call a dummy segment. A quick comeback, and we're going to go to break. Dummy segment is what it's called. You're not impressed. Never mind.
I wasn't listening.
Thanks for listening. Hey, good news. When we come back, we have a segment called Don't Bet on It. Can't wait for that.
All right, I'm game. Okay. I'm game. Bring it back, baby. Bring it back.
Red 97. Set. Red 97.
Did you say 97?
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating.
97%?
Helped by Geico's fast and friendly claim service.
Oh yeah, baby. Geico's as fast and friendly as it gets.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and you're talking to your doctor about your medication, this is Humira. This is Humira helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira helping me go further. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms. Humira has been clinically studied for over 18 years.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB. Hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ready for a new chapter? Talk to your rheumatologist. This is Humira at work.
Electrical charges live at the heart of every hybrid. Only a few truly move us. Electrifying the road forward for over a decade. With over 1 million on the road, Lexus hybrids are always charged and always ready.
Beard hair can be as strong as copper wire. The Gillette Mach 3 is precision engineered to cut hair this tough. No wonder it has the world's #1 selling blades. Mach 3, now as low as $10. Gillette.
In nature, red means danger. The red dart frog, deadly. The red mamba, deadly. Those red triangles on a black widow, you see where we're going with this. So when you foolishly think this is an opportunity to make a name for yourself, remember both nature and our menu warned you. So maybe pick a color more pleasing to your fragile palate. Maybe we suggest something in the green to yellowish section.
Look, if I get this sequence wrong, if I make one mistake, this whole place is... Wait a minute.
That's Skip Bayless?
Here we go.
The expert who said the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Look, this year the offense keeps the defense off the field. Zeke wins Rookie of the Year behind the best line in football. The Cowboys feast on the NFC lead. They're going to the Super Bowl, and you're about to blow up. Horrible clock management.
Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. Weekdays only on FS1.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Forever Brothers, a 71 Pirates story. A terrific film we're sticking around for. It's coming up next, right after the postgame show here on FS1. Fans still partying it up here in Wrigleyville, celebrating the Cubs. Game 1 win, 8-4 over the Dodgers. Wild game
against those guys.
Yeah, you did. That's right,
I did
Pete.
play against those guys. They were great.
Yes, they were. Heck of a team.
1945?
1971.
71 Pirates. So we have a new segment tonight. It's a segment we like to call Don't Bet on It. And what it is...
Wonder who that was named after.
I don't know. I have no idea where that came from. But we're gonna tell you something that maybe not, that you think's gonna happen, but maybe won't happen in the game tomorrow. Frank, don't bet on it.
Chapman coming in for a 6-out save. Don't bet on it.
Really?
Keep him in the 9th inning. No more 8th inning 6-out saves for Aroldis Chapman in this series.
Alex?
Pete, I love you. Don't bet on anything.
Oh, gosh. I'm actually going to save my bet for after the game because I bet I don't get to ride on his G5 back to L.A.
Don't bet on it.
Don't bet on it.
We'll be out there waiting for United to be late, and he'll be landing in L.A. on his G5.
I got one.
With 4 flight attendants.
What do you got, Kev?
Don't bet on this segment making it to tomorrow's show.
No.
That's just...
Roll the dice.
That's just a guess. All right, before we go, Kershaw tomorrow. Dodgers down 1-0, and here's another big spot for Clayton, Frank.
He's a superstar. He loves this type of moment. You've seen it throughout the playoffs. He wants the ball. I don't care what type of rest he is. He's going to be good. He'll be game again tomorrow, but he's got a tough task against the Chicago Cubs.
Don't bet that Frank won't make 5 pit stops on the way home tonight.
Where's he going to stop?
I haven't seen him eat for 2 hours. He's got to catch up.
Hey, you know what's great? When LeBron James and Magic Johnson are watching baseball games,
wow,
we got
great.
a pretty cool game. Expect Clayton Kershaw to pitch good game. I don't think he'll pitch great. He's been working a lot, and he was involved in all 3 games against Washington Nationals. It'll be interesting to see.
How good have these playoffs been, right? I mean, every game has been drama-filled, unbelievable. I get to hang out with you guys every night.
Pressure, pressure.
Aquavelva, man.
Sing it away, Pete.
I'm back there. Something about an Aquavelva, man. See you tomorrow. Fox.